Well, especially that last 15 minutes, man, we were flying around. And like I said, I said this last game. I've seen that in practice, and we're doing a better job of continue. Sometimes you see things like that in practice, and then it takes time to where it's showing up consistently in a game. And I think that's where we're improving. Our defense is making some strides, and our defense is so. It's so about the team defense that you got to have all five guys clicking on it, and one guy messes up, and you're gonna have holes in it. But what we did in the first half is we played so hard that when we messed up, it didn't matter. Because you're gonna have mistakes, but you got to be able to play through those mistakes. You got to play really, really hard, and when you do that, you can cover up anything. And I thought, they had a few open guys, and we had active hands and deflected the ball and got a steal and got us running a little bit.
These last two games, games where you guys could have just expected to win and come out and maybe won by 8 or 10 and felt, hey, we won the game, whatever. But to win in the fashion you did and play as well as you did all around game in both these games, what's that say about you guys?
Well, you went to both of these games when we played a month ago, and if you saw us against those two teams a month ago, it didn't look like this. And so, and I know though it's hard being in their shoes going through February when you've had some tough times and some sickness and all that stuff. But it's a combination too. I think our team's getting better, and when you're getting better in February, that's a really good sign. And we just got to continue. We did those at home. We got to take that on the road now.
What did you think of RJ tonight?
That was terrific, and I've said this before in here about Kobe and about Cam and all the different guys that maybe like RJ. He's helped us early in the year, helped us a lot in St. Mary's when Max was sick, and he has just been a grinder, and he's not playing because he's not good enough. It's just the guys in front of him have been playing really good, and we've been clicking. And you can't play a ton of guys all the time, but you're going to need those guys, especially with the games we have coming up. And I'm just so proud of the way he shows up every day and works and positive attitude. And it'd be easy to feel sorry for yourself, and it's hard not to play. They want to play. All these guys want to play. So really proud of him, and he brings something. He brings some different things. You saw he's a great cutter, and so it was calculated. You put him in with Cam and you get a lay-in. You want good cutters with Cam because he can get them lay-ins. And I thought RJ gave us a boost in that first half.
Just the bench in general. I mean, in that first half when you guys really took the lead, they played a crucial part.
They did.
I mean, it seems like a long time ago since we were questioning you about when is the bench going to perform. Just how they really. Yeah. How proud are you of the way they've stepped?
I'm proud of the persistence to be here now. Because like I said, it would have been. They weren't performing to that level, and they just kept grinding and working, and they get better, and they're showing up every day, and they're getting rewarded for it. And those practices matter. And I try to pay a close attention. Our minds aren't made up, even though it's February. And I know how valuable those are. And the other thing, the reality of our sport is you're one turned ankle away from they have to win you the game. That's the way it is in basketball. And so they're growing, and they're getting better and better, a lot of those guys.
You mentioned the last game against San Jose. When you scored 78 points, but you only had 4 guys score last time you played them.
You're right.
You had 82 tonight, but 10 guys score, and again, 10 shots was the most anybody took. And
the
balance again tonight.
Right.
How nice was that?
Yeah, and we came out a little bit thirsty. I don't know. We weren't doing our thing good enough, and I kind of got after them in the first time out, and they responded. Man, these guys responded. Man, we played the right way defensively, and we played the right way offensively for the rest of that half. I mean, to go in 38-16, and we missed a couple in transition there. It could have been even a couple more, but no, really proud of the way the guys approached this, and it was a great week for us.
There were a couple of responses that stood out to me. One you just named. The second one kind of happened later in the game. It looked like Max got in a little scuffle there, and then It almost seemed like kind of refocused and galvanized you guys for the final 5 minutes of that game.
Yeah,
Where you
it
kind of
did.
put the hammer down.
It did. And, you know, they're credit to San Jose. They didn't quit. They were playing and they were making shots, and we had to guard them. And you saw when we screwed up and didn't guard them a few times in the second half, maybe more than a few, they made you pay. They're a really, really good shooting team, and if you mess up on them, they're going to make you pay. And you saw that a lot in the second half, and so, you know, maybe that got us going a little bit.
Kind of like Max got drugged down. Did you see what happened there on that?
I didn't get a clear view, and you know those games can be hard because officials don't want to over officiate, and then the two guys are going at it, and if you don't call it early, then it can escalate. And I think there was some of that, but you know, both those guys are just great competitors, and you know, I think both of them were fine. Both move on. It's not a hard feelings thing. I think it's just two pretty scrappy, tough guys not wanting to back down to the other, and it escalated a little bit, but it, you know, didn't escalate beyond just a little hockey night in Canada.
They came out in the second half and, you know, started hitting their threes, and it almost just seemed like, despite the fact that you guys had the 22-point half-time lead, you still had to kind of keep matching with them. You know, just
No doubt.
You know, what was behind the 3-point shooting for you guys to match?
Well, we were a little. We let a few. You know, we didn't have as many good offensive possessions in the second half because, you know, we got pretty aggressive from the three line, and you know, we always have a saying: we like the three, we love the rim, and we were loving the three there a little too much in a lot of those possessions.
This is a good time to follow that up. Max, over these last 7 games, is shooting he's shooting about 50% from 3. I think he's making 4 threes a game over that span, too. How impressive is that from him over that span?
Yeah, no, he's and you know the thing that I always say that if you get him good ones, he's going to make them, and he's making some tough ones too. But you know, it's the game management, it's the steals at crucial times, it's the making the extra. Like I don't know if he get credit for it, but he made some unselfish where he was a little bit open, he could have probably shot, and he got Buzo a couple threes, and that's what's making us good because, like you said, the balance. You know, both him and Buzo almost had identical. 5 for 10, 4 for 7, 5 for 10, 4 for 9, and then you know the rest of the guys, you know, was spread out in the right way. Nobody tried to get completely their own. We looked like we had some really, really good possessions where we moved the ball, made the extra unselfish thing, which, you know, that's who we are.
With 5 games to go, you're in a 2-way tie for first place now. I mean, I don't know if you'd have taken that if I'd offered you before the season or not.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
I think I would. Yeah.
Just you know, we'll probably be asking you this after every game, but just to be in this spot right now with 2.5 weeks left in the season, how does it feel? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we don't. I mean, we do know what's going on around us, but we've been pretty laser focused on the next one. You know, but yeah, absolutely, that's where you want to be, and we fought to be in this position, and a lot of grind and a lot of great wins. And I mean, when you think about who we've beaten, you know, there's a lot of impressive victories in that group, and you know, so it almost seems like we're the ones being forgot about and overlooked and not talked about, which is fine. That's great. But when you look at our resume and what we've built so far, you know, with the number of guys that have been in the top 25 that we've beaten on the road, we've beaten in neutral courts, and we have some quality work that we've done. And when you look up and the dust settles right now after where we are, we're right there, you know, us and one other at 4 losses, right?
So how big is? I know you'll maybe think about this tomorrow, but then I guess how big is this road trip coming up?
It's huge. You know, we've been thinking about, you know, I mean, we know what's ahead of us. This, you know, I mean, it's one of the toughest places to play in the country. No ifs, ands, or buts. And if you're not, and if Linder's got a team he really likes, and they got a lot of weapons, and they got inside, outside, they're you know, they beat Colorado State there. They've had some good wins there. They've played really well. It's going to be tough sledding in Wyoming.
You guys get 8 offensive rebounds and 15 second chance points. It's a pretty high batting average, it seems, to, you know, grab that many offensive rebounds and then.
There it is.
Right?
Can't.
I stole it from you this time.
Yes.
So what leads to that success, though, when you get that second chance?
Yeah, that you know, our persistence on the glass is pretty good. And tonight we won by what, 15 on the glass? Is that what, my eyes are bad? Yep. So, yeah, and to get those 8, and we got them at crucial times too. You know, they'd hit a 3, we'd miss. We got an offense rebound, kicked out, and made a 3. You know, we answered their 3 kind of. So those were huge for us, and I think that's where you know, perfect world, you keep fresher guys out there, we're better at going to the ball, and you know, that's where being able to play more guys helps.
I know you're never content, but to be this time of the season, teams are going one way or the other.
Yeah.
You need back-to-back 30-point wins at home.
Yeah.
What does that say? What do you have to do
Well,
to accomplish that this time of year?
Like I said, the break came at a great time. The character of this team is so great. It's, you know, we're having fun at practice in February. Not many teams are doing that. And we're competing, we're coaching them hard, they're playing hard. They're just, it's been just a joy to coach these guys. And, you know, if anyone's a little tired, the whole team picks them up, and including coaches, and that's why we're winning. We have great character in that locker room, top to bottom, everybody. You know, our managers, and everybody's doing their job at a high level. I mean, the scout team, you should have seen the scout team light us up yesterday, and we were guarding like we were today. And they made us better yesterday again. You know, they did that with the other games that I talked about, and I'm telling you, those guys were on it. And we were guarding, like I said, maybe better than we were here because not as many fouls are called in practice, and we couldn't stop them. And I was like, man, if San Jose makes these shots, I don't know if they can make them for 40 minutes, but that gets us better, and that's what I've seen in practice.